Welcome back to the Old Barn on Ann Street. This is the Thursday edition of the Barn Raising Week, and we left off yesterday at the end of the day with finally a level barn. The back corner of the barn, we raised almost 4.5 inches to make it level, and today I'm standing upstairs in the loft right above where we were doing the work yesterday, in yesterday's episode, and you can feel the difference. Before we did all that work, when you walked around in this part of the barn, you could feel it kind of giving a little bit with each step. You could tell that it wasn't very sturdy. Now it's solid, it's amazing, it's level, and you can tell a big difference. Now I know this is a job that I wasn't really excited about, I was a little nervous about, but it's turned out great, and I love the way it's the difference it's making. And so I hope you're enjoying these episodes. But today what we want to do is pick up where we left off at the end of the day yesterday and do some more work to get ready now to finish off that leveling process. Now that it's level, we want to make sure it stays that way. So today's going to be a really good day. Today's the day we're going to finish off the jacking up the corner of the barn process. It's finally at the end of today. It's going to be solid. The walls will be complete. The structure will be sound. The support beams, the jack posts will be removed. So today's a really good day. Let me show you what we've been doing. So you can see the jacks are in place. We actually ended up raising the corner about 4 inches until these joists for the second floor were level. It looks kind of like they aren't because the pieces of the wall pieces are a bit on an angle, kind of going downhill. That was kind of an optical illusion that kind of threw me off for a bit. We've also poured a cement foundation about 5.5 inches wide that the sill plate or the bottom plate is on top of now. So we did that for a couple reasons. One of them is it'll add a solid foundation to this wall once we put in the little mini studs in here. But also it ties in the stone foundation that was underneath it. Make sure they're all just not going to move, or they're in place. They're huge. They're granite pieces of wood of stone, so they're not going anywhere. But it ties all that together, and it also gave us a nice level surface to put our sill plate on. Got the pressure treated wood underneath, and then the regular spruce on top. So here we are. Today we're going to put in the rest of those little mini studs underneath the main studs there. Build the bottom of the wall over there. Take out these jack posts, and hey, Bob's your uncle. It'll be just as good as, well, new. So we got the support walls built back in there, carrying the loads straight up the wall, and the posts are gone. So everything is level-ish in an old barn kind of a way, and we're ready to level the floor and pour the slab is the next thing. So yeah, did it. That was a lot of fun. We learned a lot of things, but I think it turned out great. One of the interesting things about this job that we've been doing in the leveling of the barn is once we actually finish the floor and then finish the walls, you will never ever see it. It's a job that you can never see. So it's one that is structural and will be behind the walls, but it makes all the difference. And I'm so glad we did it. But for today's episode, I want to show you another structural job that will be behind the walls. That a simple job, but was part of this process of making the barn strong and sturdy. So here's another look. So here's another structural job. Won't take long, but it would be of significance, I think, for the long-term health and structure and security of the barn, sturdiness of the barn. You'll notice this part of the barn, the structure is held up by this beam. On this end of the beam over here, you can see this big post that goes to the beam at the top, and at the bottom it's on a big piece of granite. It's solid. It's not going anywhere. But this side is a little different. In here you can see here is the beam, and it's just setting on this one thin piece. If you can see down at the bottom, the piece was thick, and then they cut it for some reason, and so it's only setting on about 1 inch of that and half of that piece up there. So what I'm gonna do today is take out all of this and put in a whole new piece right here, just to make sure everything is nice and safe. So I've got the structural post here, the temporary post, and I'm about ready to do that, and here we go. So there it is. Looks a lot sturdier, a lot stronger. There's a lot more wood holding up this side of the barn. So feel more comfortable about that. Job well done. Check this off the list. So now we got to the point where all the structural work is done on the barn. It's sturdy, it's strong. There's nothing wrong with the structure, at least in the back part of the barn, as far as we can tell. And so I'm really pleased with how that all turned out. But now we want to turn our attention for the rest of barn raising week to the floor in the back room in the classroom. There's a lot of work to be done there. So here's a clip from tomorrow where we start doing the simple task of leveling the floor. Easier said than done, because Nova Scotia is notorious for very rocky soil, and so we're going to be leveling this out, while we're, just cursing all of these rocks. But here we go. Thanks so much again for joining us today for the Thursday edition of Barn Raising Week on the Old Barn on Ann Street. Hey, why not click the Portrait of the Barn and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode? That way you can join us tomorrow, the rest of this week, and every Sunday thereafter and never miss an episode. See you tomorrow.